Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Breeden. I've just created a YouTube channel, and this is my official channel. I hope you'll support me. Young and the Restless Spoilers. Welcome back to our channel, fellow Y.R. addicts. Today is a beautiful day, but the drama unfolding on our screens is anything but calm. So grab your coffee, take a deep breath, and let's dive straight into the absolute madness that is currently happening. Okay, I need to vent. I am typing this at high AM because my brain is completely fried after watching the latest episode, and I literally cannot sleep. I cannot believe they just did that. I am still shaking. I mean, my heart was already pounding out of my chest watching Nick literally dying on that filthy gas station floor. But then Sharon, she actually put her hands around Sienna's throat after the girl just saved his life. What is happening in Las Vegas right now? Okay, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take a breath. Let's back up and talk about the absolute nightmare that Matt Clark has orchestrated, because I have so many thoughts and I need to get them all out before my head explodes. I have been watching this show religiously since Hanging Le Mulam, and I have seen my fair share of villains, but Matt Clark is on a completely different level of sick and twisted. Can we all agree that he is the most sadistic psychopath we've had in years? The fact that he purposely planted a tainted batch of drugs in that storage unit, knowing full well that Nick's addiction was spiraling out of control, is pure, unadulterated evil. Matt weaponized Nick's demons against him, and the worst part, Matt is just sitting there, completely safe, watching the entire tragedy unfold on a live surveillance video feed on his cell phone like it's some sort of entertaining reality show. It makes me sick to my stomach. I hate him so much, but I kind of have to admit that I love the intense drama he brings to the screen. It is phenomenal television, even if it is tearing my heart into a million tiny pieces. Because when Nick and Adam finally tracked Matt down to that rundown, abandoned gas station in the middle of nowhere, I thought we were finally going to get the heroic rescue we've been waiting for. I thought Nick was going to kick down the door, beat Matt to a pulp, and save Sharon and Noah like the golden boy he has always been. But no, the second Nick crossed that threshold, the tainted fentanyl and cocaine mixture hit his system like a freight train. He didn't even get to throw a punch. He just collapsed. The way he hit the floor, writhing in absolute agony, gasping for air, his body completely shutting down, it was visceral. The acting was so incredibly raw and terrifying that I actually felt like I was watching someone die. And Adam, poor Adam, frantically scrambling to unchain Sharon and Noah so they could help, screaming at Nick to stay awake. I was literally screaming at my TV, do something, somebody do something. And then, out of nowhere, Sienna Bacal. I know some people have been super skeptical about Sienna since she suddenly appeared on the canvas. I've seen the forum posts. People were like, who is this girl? And why is she suddenly so deeply involved in the Newman family's elite trauma? But honestly, I am here for it. The writers actually tied her storyline together so perfectly that I wanted to give them a standing ovation. We know that Reza Thompson gave Sienna the address after that whole chaotic lie to Matt, and Sienna didn't even hesitate. She jumped in her car and sped through the neon lights of the Vegas Strip, straight into the dark, desolate desert. You could feel her desperation through the screen. But why was she so desperate? Because of her brother. We all know Sienna's tragic, heartbreaking backstory. Her brother died of a massive drug overdose, and she has been carrying that horrific guilt around with her every single day. She tried to warn Noah. She literally saw the red flags in Nick's erratic behavior. She recognized the signs of addiction because she had lived through that exact nightmare with her own flesh and blood, and she tried to sound the alarm. So when she burst through those gas station doors and saw Nick convulsing on the concrete, she didn't freeze. She didn't panic like Adam or Sharon. She went straight into survival mode because she had Narcan, naloxone. I mean, it makes so much absolute sense. Of course, a woman who lost her brother to an opioid overdose would carry a life saving dose of Narcan in her purse at all times. It is a trauma response. It is her way of trying to control a world that took her family away from her. She jammed that medication into Nick, administering the emergency treatment right there on the spot. It was such a beautiful, full circle moment for her character. She couldn't save her own brother, but she could save Noah's father. She could stop another family from feeling the exact same agonizing grief that destroyed her life. I was sobbing. I really was. Nick took that sudden, sharp gasp of air, the Narcan reversing the opioid overdose just in the nick of time, and I felt this massive wave of relief wash over me. Nick was going to live. Sienna was the hero. Everything was going to be okay. But then, oh my God, before we can even celebrate for one single second, Sharon Newman completely loses her mind. I'm not exaggerating. Sharon lunges at Sienna like a feral animal and starts choking her. Uh, choking her. I had to rewind my DVR 3 times because I honestly thought I was hallucinating. I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. Sienna is literally the hero of the hour. Nick is on the floor, gasping for life-saving air, and Sharon decides that this is the perfect moment to commit attempted murder. Make it make sense. She just wrapped her hands around this poor girl's neck with this terrifying, blank, homicidal look in her eyes. It was absolutely unhinged. Am I the only one who thinks Sharon is completely broken right now? The big question everyone in the group chats is asking right now is Sharon being too paranoid? Yes, obviously yes. You don't just strangle the woman who just saved your ex-husband's life, but also kind of know. I mean, let's really unpack this for a second because we have to look at Sharon's history. We have to look at the sheer amount of psychological torture this woman has endured over the decades. Remember when they tried this level of intense trauma with Cameron Kirsten? Remember how he stalked her, gaslit her, and pushed her to the absolute brink of insanity? The woman has PTSD layered on top of PTSD. She has been kidnapped, she has been chained to pipes, she has been manipulated, and she has been forced to fight for her life more times than I can even count. So put yourself in Sharon's shoes for just 1 second. She has been held hostage in a disgusting, abandoned gas station by Matt Clark, a man who wants to destroy her entire family. She just watched the love of her life, the father of her children, burst through the door and immediately collapse from a poison drug overdose. She watched Nick dying. She felt completely helpless. Her brain was probably already short-circuiting from the sheer terror of the situation. And then, suddenly, this random girl, Sienna, just magically appears out of the darkness at a secret, undisclosed location in the middle of the Vegas desert. How did Sienna find them? To Sharon's severely traumatized, panicked brain, there is no logical explanation. She doesn't know about Riza giving Sienna the address. She doesn't know about the Narcan. All Sharon sees is a stranger bursting into Matt Clark's trap, holding a medical device and injecting something into Nick's body. Sharon probably thought Sienna was working with Matt. She probably thought the Narcan was actually poison. In her twisted, terrified mind, she probably believed Sienna was the assassin sent to finish Nick off. Wait, no, I am definitely getting ahead of myself. That is still not an excuse to strangle a girl who is just trying to help, but it explains the absolute psychotic break we just witnessed. Sharon was operating purely on primal, maternal, protective instinct. She wasn't thinking, she was just reacting to a perceived threat. But it was still so hard to watch. And can we talk about Noah for a second? Poor, sweet, deeply traumatized Noah. The guy has been chained up, manipulated by Matt's sick mind games, forced to watch his dad foam at the mouth from a drug overdose, and now he has to physically wrestle his own mother off his girlfriend, or whatever Sienna is to him right now. I don't even know what their relationship status is after this. I can just imagine the sheer panic in Noah's voice. Mom, stop. She's saving him. Let her go. He had to use all of his physical strength to pry Sharon's fingers off Sienna's throat. Noah needs a lifetime of therapy after this week alone. The entire Newman family needs to be institutionalized at this point because none of them are okay. This whole violent outburst really reminds me of when Sharon went off her medication and was having those severe bipolar episodes years ago. Remember when she burned down the Newman Ranch? Remember when she was hallucinating Cassie and doing all those incredibly dangerous things? This feels like the beginning of another massive psychotic break. I am genuinely terrified that they are going to lock Sharon up in Fairview right next to Mariah. I mean, think about it. Mariah is already locked up in a mental health facility, facing the very real threat of going to actual prison because Devin Hamilton is being a ruthless, unforgiving jerk with his legal petitions. And now Sharon is out here assaulting innocent bystanders in gas stations. The Copeland Newman women are cursed. They are absolutely cursed, and my heart breaks for them. And another thing, where the heck was Adam while this MMA fight was happening? He was the one who unchained Sharon and Noah in the first place. Was he just standing there in shock? I guess he was probably completely hyper-focused on Nick's breathing, trying to make sure his brother didn't slip away. But still, Adam is usually the one who reacts first. The fact that Sharon beat him to the punch and went full feral on Sienna just shows how fast and unpredictable the situation was. Matt Clark has truly destroyed them from the inside out. He didn't even have to be in the room to make them tear each other apart. He just set the board, planted the poison drugs, and let their own trauma do the rest of the work. It is brilliant writing, but it is so hard to digest.